Today on race day, Bill Elliott surprises the field and puts the Golden Arches out front in Pocono. Can Britain's best win again at the British Grand Prix? Mike Wallace does the double in Pocono ARCA action.
It's race day, Sunday, July 16th, 1995. Good morning and welcome to Pocono International Raceway. I'm Rick Benjamin. Good to have you with us this Sunday morning. We're live here at the Speedway where in 90 minutes, the NASCAR Winston Cup stars will run their second event of the season at this 2.5-mile tri-oval. Bobby Labonte won just a month ago when Jeff Gordon missed a shift with a handful of laps to go, handing Labonte the victory. Now, Bobby will have a long way to go to try to double up at Pocono here today. He starts 32nd after qualifying in the second round on Saturday. The qualifying story Friday, the smashing performance of Bill Elliott, the redhead from Dawsonville, taking his first pole in 42 starts, going all the way back to Darlington in the spring race last year. Elliott telling us that now that Mike Beam is a part of his team, the McDonald's group is coming together.
I mean, if you can come in here and get momentum going, it makes it easier come Sunday morning. And even regardless of how good or bad you run during the day, I mean, just like go back to Daytona, as I said earlier, you know, starting in the back was really hard to accept from our standpoint because we know we're a better race team than what we showed at that point. But we kind of redeemed ourselves come Saturday afternoon when we run well, and that's what it's all about.
Jeff Gordon is the driver everyone's talking about, not just here at Pocono, but across the entire world of motorsports. 2 straight wins on the tour. Could have been 3 had he not missed that shift at Pocono a month ago. Gordon starts 11th today, and he's telling us that even as the pressure mounts on he and his team, he's trying to take the long view.
We're a young team. We're a team that's just learning an awful lot right now about winning, about losing, you know, and about, you know, going for the championship. Whether we win it or not, we'll have to see. But we're somebody that is going to be around for a long, long time.
But you can tell they're starting to think about the possibility of a Winston Cup title this year. The other big story here this weekend concerns Rusty Wallace, as Miller Ford not allowed to qualify on Friday because of unapproved roof flaps. With more on that story, we want to welcome Steve Burns to our race day team. Steve standing by at the 2-car. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Rick. Now, the roof flaps in question, Rick, were made of a combination material, we're told, of titanium and perhaps Kevlar. Now, the net effect of this, for those who may not understand, is the team want to get more weight from the top of the car to the bottom of the car. The better the car, the heavier the car is at the bottom, the faster it'll run. Now, Crew Chief Robin Pemberton has been fined $20,000 and will be on probation until August 30th.
This is just a non-approved part, and the reason we got a fine at all is because they're trying to deter these manufacturers from building trick parts and trying to sell them to people, and they want to get a good control. So I understood it. I said, I appreciate your position on it, appreciate you being kind about it and understanding it, and that was it. It's been around for so long. Robin Pemberton didn't even know it was on a car. He was shocked. I said, I got something I got to tell you here, buddy.
Looking for that Penske advantage once again, but they were caught this time. Thanks, Steve. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. By the way, last week, TNN brought you live the Slick 5300 from New Hampshire Speedway in Loudon. An obscenity inadvertently got on the air during the course of our broadcast. And speaking for everyone here at TNN, we're sorry if this offended you, and we're certainly going to do our best to make sure it'll never happen again. We apologize once again. The NASCAR Super Trucks in action this weekend. Westward Ho for that series. Round 11 run in Denver Saturday afternoon. Mike Skinner had dominated in qualifying. He'd won 8 straight pole positions. Mike's been hot on race day as well, winning 4 of the last 6 events. But as race day's Matt Yoakum tells us, a Ford driver had the combination to cool down Mike Skinner.
The temperatures were warm in the Rockies. Mike Skinner wasn't. Skinner did not even have the fastest mount in qualifying. He started 8th. The fastest man in qualifying and the first half of the race was Ron Hornaday in the Papa John's truck. He checked out at the start and led until halftime. In the second half, Butch Miller joined Hornaday at the front, while title contenders Skinner and Joe Ruttman were shoving their way through traffic. Skinner trades paint with Jimmy Dick, leaving enough for Ruttman to pick up some for himself. That traffic proved to be the break Miller needed, and he used it to take the lead from Hornaday. Hornaday then had to fend off his former crew chief, Bill Sedgwick. They got too aggressive, made contact, and lost control. The incident was a boost to Skinner's chances as he split the squirrely duo and grabbed second. The resulting caution left the black Chevy right on the tailgate of Miller for a 5-lap shootout. Miller's mirror was full of black grill until the last lap. Skinner pulled alongside going into 3 and had the nose out front as they came off of 4. Miller mashed the gas on his Ford and nipped Skinner at the line to snatch his first Super Truck win. Ron Hornaday led 170 laps to finish third. Bill Sedgwick battled back for fourth. A shakeup in our Speed Stick Fast Track point standings brought to you by Menon has Mike Skinner using his second place to move ahead of Joe Ruttman by a narrow 7-point margin. Miller sits 17 points back in third. Reporting for Race Day, I'm Matt Yoakum.
All right, thanks, Matt. Now, the Super Truck stars take a little bit of time off. They go road racing for the first time. They'll visit Topeka Saturday, July the 29th. I'll be pleased to bring you that action live here on TNN on that Saturday afternoon with Ernie Irvin. Hope you can join us for that broadcast. There's more to come on Race Day this Sunday morning. Road racing making news from England to Toronto, Canada. When we come back, Mike Hogwood in our Race Day studios with all the latest on that. And later, we'll be back here at Pocono. We'll talk live with Jeff Gordon's crew chief, Ray Evernham, find out more on his situation today and the latest on hot commodities in the driver's future market. All that and more straight ahead on Race Day. We're back at Pocono in a couple of minutes.
Race Day is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Dodge Truck, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. By Jiffy Lube. If it doesn't say Jiffy Lube, it just isn't Jiffy Lube. By Speed Stick by Menon. Like you, it never quits. By Subaru. Test drive an all-weather, all-road, all-wheel drive Subaru today.
Welcome back to Race Day. I'm Mike Hogwood. Canadian IndyCar sensation Jack Villeneuve is thrilling the home folks at the Molson Indy in Toronto. The Indy 500 winner broke Robbie Gordon's track record yesterday to claim his third straight pole position. Villeneuve, a winner last week at Road America, will share the front row with provisional Portland winner Jimmy Vasser. Former record holder Gordon will start from the fourth row with Al Unser Jr. Rookie Andre Ribeiro and last week's runner-up Paul Tracy will round out the top 10. Now you'll see all that Toronto action this afternoon on ABC at 1:30, and we'll have the highlights at 7 o'clock. Note the time change this week only for our PM edition. Well, as a preliminary to today's IndyCar show in Toronto, the Players Limited Toyota Atlantic cars lined up for Series Round 7. Point leader David Impringham and fast qualifier Richie Hearn shared the front row, and green light shown. Hearn outdueled Impringham to the first turn. That proved to be all the advantage Hearn needed. Behind the front two runners, there was a battle royal for third place. Here, title contender Patrick Carpenter gets by Shigeaki Hattori for third, and then Hattori loses it, trying to hold on to fourth and collects a charging Philippe Giaffoni. Up front, Hearn leads Impringham to the checkers in a hard-earned first 95 win.
Yeah, it's great, man. The car worked perfect the whole time. I got great starts. And all I had to do is keep myself under control, and it's been a long drought all year, and you know we've had the equipment to win, but we just haven't had the brakes, and today we finally got one. Hopefully there'll be some more later on.
Carpentier held on for third. Sixth place, Zika Giaffoni, brother of the crashing Giaffoni, led three rookies into the top 10. Benham in 8th, and 10th place Barron were the others. Well, the British Grand Prix plays second only to the Grand Prix of Monaco in Formula One Prestige. And last year, in front of a wild home crowd, Damon Hill claimed a controversial win when his chief rival, Michael Schumacher, was black flagged. This year, those two faced off again. Hill started from the pole and led until the first round of pit stops. Schumacher then took over and tried to make it to the finish on only one pit stop. Well, that strategy left the German ahead by 2 seconds and Hill on the charge. With just 15 laps remaining, Hill tried a kamikaze pass, and watch this, hits the side of Schumacher's car, sending both to the gravel trap and out of the race. That opened the door for their teammates, Johnny Herbert and Benetton, and David Coulthard's Williams. Hill's teammate Coulthard was penalized after he took the lead for excessive pit road speed. And when Coulthard came on pit road, that handed the win to Herbert. For Herbert, a British star who nearly lost his life in a Formula One crash, this was an emotional first-ever Grand Prix victory and quite popular with the home folks. Montreal winner Jean Alesi came home second. Coulthard was able to rebound from his penalty for a third-place finish. Mark Blundell's fifth place gave Britain 3 of the top 5 spots. Now, the World Championship points remain the same with the demise of Hill and Schumacher today. The German holds an 11-point lead over Hill, while Herbert's win moves him to 4th in the championship. The series next moved to Schumacher's home turf, Hockenheim in Germany, the end of July. Well, later here on Race Day, we will update the endurance road racing scene here and abroad. And when we come back, we'll rejoin Rick Benjamin in Pocono for the latest on driver movement and the first in our 5-part series on the business of motorsports. Race Day is right back at you after this.
Back live at Pocono. Good to have you with us today on Race Day. With 14 races to go after today's Winston Cup event, it's that time of the year when drivers, owners, and sponsors all think about what they're going to be doing next year. Now, this earlier movement in the driver futures market, if you will, has sparked a lot of speculation and a lot of rumor. One of the drivers in the most demand for future Winston Cup rides is this man. Come on in here, Johnny Benson Jr., current Busch Series point leader, making your television debut with us a little later today, and we're looking forward to that. Are you headed to Winston Cup next year?
Well, we're not sure yet. You know, right now we're concentrating on trying to win the Busch Grand National points. We've got a good lead, and Base Motorsports and the whole team's been doing such a good job. And it's, you know, it's starting to affect us a little bit, though. You know, it's just with all the rumors and speculations, it's something that we just, you know, we're going to worry about that later and need to concentrate on what we're doing.
Hard to do with all those reports that you're going to be taking over the Pennzoil Pontiac for Michael Waltrip next year. Any truth to that story?
Well, I mean, obviously I have talked to some people, but I've talked to some other people also, but you know, I'm happy where I'm at right now, and it's been tough, you know, trying to, like I say, going to do some pit reporting today and talk to some people, and now things are really starting to fly. So
you were in Ford trucks yesterday. I heard that caused a lot of rumors flying around when you were walking around here.
Yeah, it sure has. You know, Nelson's been running me around, showing me all the ropes, and he stopped by a couple Ford vehicles, and that's started some rumors too.
It's been said that your Busch team, the base team, might move up to Winston Cup. Is that a possibility?
It's a possibility. I believe that they're gonna, you know, wait another year yet, but it's a very good possibility it might go next year, yes.
All right, we wish you well. Look forward to having you with us on TBS a little later today. Johnny Benson Jr., current Busch Series point leader, joining us live. By the way, another driver much talked about in the last couple of weeks, Ken Schrader. The announcement here Friday, he will stay with Budweiser and with Hendrick Motorsports for 1996, and they hope for many years beyond that. Also, Jeff Gordon's team and the team of Terry Labonte will be staying intact with the same sponsors. Rumors, though, there might be a fourth Hendrick car in the near future. We'll find out more about that as the season wears on. Even if you've been around motorsports for a while, the growth of this sport is amazing. Not long ago, championship cars raced not far from here at Langhorne, Pennsylvania on the dirt. They used to hold drag races at airports, and NASCAR's Grand National Series used to run at places like Kingsport and Smoky Mountain Raceway in Tennessee before crowds of a few thousand. No television in those days, but now TV, Fortune 500 industries, and racing stadiums like this one at Pocono have turned this sport into huge business. Well, today on Race Day, we begin a series of reports on this explosive change, what it's meant to this sport so far, and where this business of motorsports is going in the years to come.
Everyone knew the numbers were huge, but it took 2 reports this summer by respected business publications to put the issue into the spotlight. The Wall Street Journal laying out where attendance in Winston Cup racing is going and why some tracks may be forced out of the sport. And Forbes magazine estimating $2 billion a year in revenues across the industry. That worth for NASCAR's France family of $500 million.
There is very big money in Winston Cup racing today, and we've all known that. The funny thing about it is all the new folks that are coming in think that this is the way it's been for the last 30 years.
They've got a great thing going here with this sport, and they got a lot of people wanting to get involved in it, and they're willing to pay big bucks to do it.
There's been explosive growth just about everywhere you look. New drivers and teams racing at new tracks, in new big league series. Every major race on television live. It's hard to remember how all this began.
We've been toiling out in the vineyard for a long time to try to make this happen. So it's gotten there, and right now I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think this sport's got a long way to go. Hopefully we can balance it around so everybody's getting the right cut. We don't end up having problems with competitors or some of the problems that exist in some other forms of racing and in all stick and ball sports, and we don't want that.
The sport's growing so fast, it's even convinced NASCAR President Bill France Jr. to create a racing theme park.
In life, things either get bigger or smaller. It's very hard to stand still, so we want to try and keep the ball bouncing higher in the air. That's kind of a generic oversimplification, perhaps, but we think this facility is going to add a lot to the sport.
But the movers and shakers in big league racing tell us it's all fueled by one thing, the incredible popularity of top drivers who know how important it is to stay close to the fans.
The athletes, the drivers in stock car racing have become regular people. You know, like the article said, you can find any of the drivers in the garage area or in the infield talking to the fans, signing autographs. I think the drivers' influx has really had a lot to do with the success of the sport.
And that concern for the fans really paying off, not just in big attendance and big ratings on television and radio, but huge merchandising revenue as well. Tonight on the PM edition of Race Day, 7 o'clock Eastern tonight, by the way. And we'll examine just how sharp the sports growth curve is likely to be. Our series, The Business of Motorsports, continuing tonight. Now, let's head back to Mike Hogwood in our Charlotte studios. Mike, a terrific ARCA race here yesterday.
Oh, there really was, Rick, and as you know, you were broadcasting yesterday after a rain out in June. The ARCA Stars did return to Pocono Thursday for the rain date. Now, Mike Wallace dominated that race, winning it from the pole. The story yesterday, just about the same. Wallace again led from the pole, only this time around. Tim Steele in the number 16 gave Wallace his number 90 all it could handle. Those two Wades that pitched battle, swapping the lead 4 times. Now, late in the race, Wallace had pulled out a lead with Steele working traffic to keep up. Here he dove under Perry Tripp, and then watch the startled Tripp ends up in the wall. That brought out the race's final of 4 cautions, setting up a dash to the finish. And while the front runners pitted, Bob Shack gambled on track position and led them to the green on the restart. 2 laps later, Wallace and Steele with fresher tires stormed past Shack. Those two ran in formation to the checkers, giving Wallace his 2nd win in 3 days. 4th place, Ed Barrier of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, enjoyed a good run in his first ARCA effort of the year, while point leader Andy Hillenberg rounds out the top 5. Well, when we come back, Race Day will have all the latest from Sonoma, California, where the IMSA World Sports Cars are set for a 3-hour enduro this afternoon. And as we leave you, here is today's Motorsports TV lineup. Make a special note. Tonight, our PM edition of Race Day takes the green flag 30 minutes early. That's tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. Welcome back to Race Day. Time now for our Mopar Performance Update. This week, the IMSA World Sports Cars hold the spotlight as we go west for the only time this season at Sears Point Raceway. Mauro Baldi in a Ferrari was fastest in yesterday's qualifying for the Apple California Grand Prix. Like everywhere else, this weekend heat will be the big factor. Baldi thinks it'll affect tires.
Well, mainly it will be a problem for the tires because we don't know how long the tire will last, and in this type of heat. Hopefully tomorrow it will be a little bit cooler day, so I'm confident to be able to use softer compound for the race of tomorrow.
Ferraris and Fords dominate the top qualifiers with James Weaver and teammate Butch Leidingser splitting the 3 Ferraris. Darren Brasfield was fastest in the GT1 category. He'll start 10th overall. All right, now let's catch you up on all the 2-wheeled action. In Lake Odessa, Michigan last week, it was a Cinderella story for 22-year-old Steve Beattie. He made the final in a last-chance semi. In the main event, Canadian rider moved to the front by halfway, and on the last lap, he held off a charge from Larry Pegram and Kevin Atherton to take his first career win. After 9 events, let's take a look at the Grand National Points standings. Scott Parker is out front with 3 wins. 3rd place, Steve Moorhead was injured in Michigan. He could miss the next few events. Now, the road racers are in Brainerd, Minnesota this weekend. Miguel Duhamel, who is looking for his 3rd straight Superbike win, set a new track record in qualifying. Duhamel went around the 3-mile Brainerd circuit nearly half a second faster than Tom Kipp, the second fast qualifier. The winners already this weekend include Fred Merkel in the 750 Supersport and Randy Renfro, who won the 125 Grand Prix Series race. And right now, let's go back to the Pocono Raceway and Rick Benjamin. Rick?
Thanks, Mike. Back live at Pocono. The second half of the season is here, and most of these race teams in NASCAR are wondering how they're going to catch Jeff Gordon, even though he didn't qualify up front today for the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Gordon's won 2 in a row. Should have been 3 if he hadn't missed that shift here at Pocono a month ago. How dominant has Jeff Gordon been this year? Check some numbers. He's won 5 Winston Cup races this year, plus the Winston Select. Won huge money there. He's led 15 of the 16 events so far. He's led nearly 34% of the laps. That's 1/3. And nearly 36% of the miles run. That's more than 1/3 of the mileage. And he's won more than $1.5 million just past halfway this year. What's it like to be the hunted and no longer the hunter? Let's find out. Race Day's Dr. Dick Berggren standing by at the 24 car with the crew chief, Ray Evernham. Dick?
Well, the top crew chiefs have become stars just as the drivers have, and Ray Evernham has been signing autographs here, posing for pictures, and this morning everybody's been looking underneath that car of yours trying to figure out how come it's so fast. What is it like to be on top, Ray?
Well, it wasn't one of our goals when we started the year, so it's awful nice to be on top, and it's just a tribute to everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. You know, there's 120 people that work there, and to be on top for all of them, it's a real good feeling, Dick.
What's your chances today?
Well, we feel like our chances are good. You know, there's going to be a couple Fords, Morgan and Mark. They're pretty tough. It's good to see Bill Elliott up front again, but we just want to beat our best ever finish here, 6th, and we want to beat that, and we'd consider it a good day if we finish 2nd to Kenny Schrader.
Well, they're going to start 11th today. That's a little bit deeper in the field than they have started previously, but they have done it before from way back. Last week, they were 21st and got all the way to 1st.
All right,
we're going
thanks,
to be back
Dick.
with more after this.
All right, thanks, Dick. All right, thank you, Dick and Ray. And the action just a little more than an hour away here at Pocono. When we come back, we'll have some predictions on who we think is going to shine here at Pocono International Raceway. More of Race Day straight ahead. Back live at Pocono, time for predictions. Dr. Dick Berggren, who looks strong today?
Never, ever bet against Dale Earnhardt. Steve Burns.
Well, this is a flat racetrack. Ted Musgrave could break through, but Rusty Wallace and crew are mad. He's in his favorite race car, Midnight. Rusty Wallace.
Johnny Benson Jr. told us he likes Mark Martin today. Martin was fastest in late practice. Jeff Gordon told us, though, earlier he wishes he could have run this race Monday for redemption from what happened here in June. I think Gordon's got a great shot. We'll find out coming up at 1 o'clock. Live coverage on TBS. 7 o'clock tonight, the PM edition of Race Day, back here on TNN. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later today and tonight.
Race Day is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler Plymouth, Dodge Truck, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. Promotional fee and consideration have been paid by Racing Radios. For all of your business and racing communications needs, as well as scanners and frequency lists, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. By StarCraft Automotive, the leader in luxury van and truck conversions. Discover for yourself why StarCraft luxury, quality, and safety is setting the standard in luxury conversions.